Hello, this is Mr. Wynn. Today's video will be solving systems of equations using Cramers Rule. So, again, I've been telling you matrices have been helpful for doing a lot of complicated things. This video will show you how to solve it. It will show you how to calculate determinants. You need to be able to do that. It will show you how Cramers Rule works. I'm going to show you. You don't have to know how to do it. It's just one way. But the last one, I'll teach you the best way to solve matrices. So this beats Cramer's method. Alright, so just know what Cramers looks like, but know how to do the best way. So first, determinants are a unique single number for each square matrix. They tell us something very important, kind of like the true value of that matrix. So a square matrix is a matrix that has the same amount of rows and columns. For example, A is a 2 by 2. That is a square. That's good. B is a 3 by 3. That is a square. That is good. C, that is 1 row, 2 columns, 1 by 2. That is not the same number, so that is not a square matrix. That does not have a determinant. So only A and B have determinants. So how do you find determinants? So for 2 by 2s, here's the term. Consider the spots. I'll call spot A, spot B, spot C, spot D. The determinant will always be A times D minus B times C. Now if you notice, that's the diagonal. I'm going to multiply this diagonal, and I'm going to subtract the other diagonal. Alright, so over here, A times D, that's 5 times 9, minus C, B times C, negative 4 times 8. Well, that is 45 plus 32. That gives me 77. That is the answer. Alright, so just multiply one diagonal, multiply the other diagonal, subtract them. So actually, some kids in the past have liked doing 5 times 9, 45, and they write that number by itself. Then they multiply this number, they get negative 32, write that number by itself, and between them put a minus sign. So 45 minus negative 39, that makes it plus 77. So you do them separate, then subtract them, that's fine too. Find the term for 3 by 3. There is no formula here, but we're going to follow the same idea. So here we did diagonals, we'll do diagonals again. But you have to rewrite the last two columns at the side. So I'm going to rewrite this, negative 8, 2, 5, 3, 6, 9. So again, we multiply the diagonals. So here's the first diagonal. I'm going to do 4 times 2 times 9. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 9 is 72. That's my first number. I'm getting this diagonal going downwards. Negative 8 times 6 times 5, well, negative 8 times 6 is negative 48 times 5 gives me negative 240. And this last diagonal, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 9 is 54. I'm going to add those three numbers together, see what I get. 72 minus 240 plus 54. My final answer is negative 114. Now I'm not done. That's the downwards diagonals. That's kind of like the A times D. Now we go the other way. I have to do these diagonals. So 2 times 4 times 3. That gives me 24. Again, this one, 5 times 6 times negative 8. That gives me negative 240. And this last one, 9 times 2 times 3, gives me positive 54. I add those numbers together. So 24 minus 240 plus 54. Gives me negative 162. Once you have those two numbers, like the last slide, I'm going to subtract them. So negative 114 minus negative 162. When you see a minus negative, make them both positive. So negative 114 plus 162 gives me the final answer of 48. That is the determinant of my 3 by 3. The same rule applies for 4 by 4, so there's going to be 4 diagonals. So the size to how many diagonals there are, except for 2 by 2. Alright, now, why do we find that? So any equation can be turned into a coefficient matrix by putting the equation in almost standard form. So basically, letters to the left, answers to the right, and it doesn't have to follow the rules from before. We don't need to have a positive. We don't have to have no fractions or decimals. We don't have to have a GCF of 1. Alright, so there's my system for 5x minus 6y equals 15, 3x plus 4y equals negative 29. We could solve this using substitution and elimination and get the answers x equals negative 3, y equals negative 5. But I'm going to show you how to write the coefficient matrix. I'm going to just do the numbers without letters. So my first equation, that's 5 goes to x, negative 6 goes to y. On the bottom equation, 3 goes to x, 4 goes to y. If it helps you, our answer would be 15 and negative 29. But I can't remember the left one. So that 5, negative 6, 3, 4, we'll be using that. So Cramers Rule is another way to solve that system using determinants, which we just found on the last slide, and coefficient matrix, what I just made right there, the 5, negative 6, 3, 4. So solve this system. So there's going to be coefficient matrices. Here's the first one, 5, negative 6, 3, 4. And my answer was 15, negative 29. If it helps, we're going to label this. This column is our x column. This column is our y column, and this is our answer column. So the way Cramers Rule works is this. You can find any letter you want by following this simple formula. If I want x equals, I'm going to do the determinant of the original matrix, coefficient matrix, so 5, negative 6, 3, 4 on bottom. And on top, I'm going to do another determinant. This is going to be a determinant divided by determinant. Now, I'm not going to write the same determinant. I'm going to replace the x column with the answers. So this will be 15, negative 29, and the y stays the same. So we find the determinants here. We should be good. So let's try it. For the top one, actually, let me try like this. Yeah, all right. Let me do it like this. Okay. Here's the determinant that I should get. What just happened? Grr. All right, let's try this. So here's our original, right? 5, negative 6, 3, 4. That's our original. If I want the x answer, I need to replace the x column with 15, negative 29, and leave the y column alone. What division sign? If I want the y answer, instead of changing the x column, I'll leave the x column alone, 5, 3. I'm going to change the y column with the answers, 15, negative 29. So we got to find 3 determinants here, which isn't hard. So here, I'm going to do 5 times 4, that's 20. And I'm going to do this, that's negative 18, and I subtract them. So if I add, that's really 38. The second one, 15 times 4, that's 60. Negative 29 times negative 6, where's the calculator? Right here. Negative 29 times negative 6 gives me positive 174. I got to subtract those. So 60 minus 174 gives me negative 114. And this one, 5 times negative 29 is negative 145. 3 times 15 is 45. Subtract them. That gives me 100. Alright, so now to find the letters x, all I do is the x one. So determinant of 15, negative 6, negative 29, 4 over the original, 5, 3, negative 6, 4. And we already calculated. The top one is negative 114. The bottom one is 38. Well, if you put in the calculator, negative 114 divided by 38 gives me negative 3. I know x is negative 3. Alright, I'm going to try y now. Well, y would be the determinant of the y one. So x stays the same. The y column changed to the answer. Over the original, 5, 3, negative 6, 4. And we found that to the left. So the y one is 100 over 38. If you put that in the calculator, you get, all right, I made a quick mistake. Negative 145 minus 45 is negative 190, not 100. I added on accident. So this is actually 190 negative 190 on top, divided by 38 on bottom. You put that in your calculator, negative 190 divided by 38, you get negative 5. So my x is negative 3, my y is negative 5. Now if I go back to the last slide, I told you we did substitution elimination, x is negative 3, y is negative 5. So that's Cramers rule. You find determinants, you find the coefficient matrix, find the determinant of that, change the x column to the answers, find the determinant of that, change the y column to the answers, find the determinant of that. If there's the third column, z's, you could do the same thing. This always works. It's good for pinpointing letters, but that's not the best way. So now let me show you the very best way. So although Cramers rule can be used, there's a much faster way. It's all calculators. It's called Augmented Matrix. An Augmented Matrix is a coefficient matrix, but with an additional column, the answer column. So earlier we had this. We had 5, negative 6, 3, 4. And I told you the answers was 15, negative 29. Now, if I just delete this wall in the middle and combine them together, that's my augmented matrix. If it helps you, some people like drawing this little dotted line there. But so this x, y, and the answers. All right, we're going to do something with that. Again, it's all calculator. So here it is. So let me copy that real fast. All right, fine. Let me write this. So that's 5, negative 6, answer is 15. 3, 4, answer is negative 29. This is a 2 rows, 3 columns. So let's go to our calculator. Time to learn the steps. In your calculator, you can put a matrix. You are going to go to second x negative 1 to run underneath math. You see matrix. Go right to edit. Click A. Enter your augmented matrix. It's 2 rows, 3 columns. So my first row is 5, negative 6, 15. My second row is 3, 4, negative 29. Once you type your numbers in, click second quit to go back to the home screen. Now go back to the matrix by second matrix. Now go right to math. Go up to B. It's RREF, double REF. Now I ask you of what? It has to be something in the parentheses. You got to put a matrix. So go back to second matrix again and pick the matrix you called, which in this case is A. Click enter, and it gives you this. It gives you 1, 0, negative 3, 0, 1, negative 5. If you remember, x was negative 3, y is negative 5. So let me write that. 1, 0, negative 3, 0, 1, negative 5. You need to be able to read this matrix, augmented matrix. Remember, this is our x, this is our y, this is our answer. If I went backwards and wrote this in equation form, that would be 1x plus 0y, which doesn't mean anything, equals negative 3. So this is the main thing. Basically, 1x equals negative 3. Oops. All right, same for the bottom. You have 0x plus 1y equals negative 5. So y equals negative 5. All right, so again, try this. This was from your quiz last time. So make sure it's the constant form. So 4 goes x, 2 over y, 3 over z. The answer is 1. Remember, this is your x, y, z answer column. 2, negative 3, 5, negative 14, 6, negative 1, 4, negative 1. I'm going to the calculator, type that in. So, second matrix, edit. It is a 3 by 4 this time. 3 rows, 4 columns. 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, negative 3, 5, negative 14, 6, negative 1, 4, oops, go 2, 6, negative 1, 4, negative 1. All right, second quit, second matrix, right up to REF, second matrix A, click enter, click math, enter, enter. Oh, I wrote something wrong. All right, I noticed I wrote the bottom left one wrong. I put 661 says 6. I fixed it. My answer is 2 for x, 1 for y, negative 3 for z. All right, here's your practice problem. Find the determinant. You should get 22. If you can get that, you should be fine for the pre-quiz in class. All right, thanks for watching. This is Mr. Wynn. See you in class. Bye.